Hello there, thrill seekers, and greetings today from fabulous Finland, which is where I am. This is Finland behind me. I don't know, you can't really see much, but trust me, it's Finland. And I am here tonight. I am speaking here in Turku, Finland, but I don't know exactly where I'm speaking. So if you happen to be in Turku, just ask some people, say, where's Brad Warner speaking, and maybe they'll know. I think it is a bar that used to be a schoolhouse, so maybe that's enough of a clue, because this isn't a big city, so maybe somebody will know what you're talking about. Then tomorrow, I am starting a retreat that I'm running in Lammi, which I guess it's not called Lammi anymore, but it's a place out, it's another disused schoolhouse way out in the middle of the Finnish countryside, where there's a group here that started a Zen center there. It's not a group that I'm affiliated with, so I'm not affiliated with the Zen center that in Lammi, but the Zen center that is here, the Kajo Zendo, rented the place from the Zen Center in Lamy, and then that's where I'm doing a thing. And I haven't been here for 2 years. This is actually the first in-person Zen retreat I've done in 2 years. So that'll be interesting. 21 souls will descend into the darkness and do some Zazen with me. And then next week, next week, I'm doing a Zen retreat in the countryside of Bavaria in Germany at Benediktushof. Both of those Zen retreats are full up, so I'm sorry you can't join unless you already signed up. But then after that, I'm going to France, and I'm giving a talk at a bookstore, and if I find the name of the bookstore, I'll superimpose it on the screen here, and you'll see it, but if I haven't, you won't see it. Anyway, if you're seeing it now, then I found it. Anyway, I'm doing a talk at that bookstore in Paris, and then doing a talk at an ashram somewhere just outside of Paris. And if I have the info, like I said, I'll put it on the screen. So you're either seeing it or you're not. But that's where I'm going to be. And those two things are open, so you can come to them if you can figure out how to get there. So excited to see all the European people. That'll be fun. So this morning I'm staying at the home of Lari, which is right behind me, and he's been my kind host here. He's been my host for a few other times that I've been here in Turku, Finland. Somebody I've known in Finland for about 10 years, I think. Anyway, I was talking to him this morning, and I spontaneously said something that I thought, oh, that sounds good, and sometimes I come up with good things. And it was, you created the universe, but you created a universe in which you didn't create the universe. And that's kind of how I look at things. Now, I wondered what to talk about tonight and what to talk about at my retreat in Lammi, and I really still haven't settled on it, but I thought maybe that would be an interesting theme, because it seems to be running through a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about and thinking about and trying to get to for, well, years and years, but especially lately. And it's sort of related to a concept that I brought up on this YouTube channel, I think about a week ago, which is the two words that Dogen uses, which are both translated usually as self. One is Jiko and one is Ware. And Jiko is the kind of big universal self, and Ware is the individual sort of ego-based self. And this gets really complicated, and we could talk about Yogacara systems of personhood and all this other stuff and get really complex like this. But to bring it down to what I just said, it's the Jiko self created the universe in which the Ware self is not the creator of the universe. But in the underlying thingness, I don't know what I want to say. And the underlying truth is that both the Jiko self and the Ware self are the same self, and they are you as much as they are me. So the same Jiko that looks out of my eyes looks out of your eyes and thinks that it's your Ware, and it thinks that it's my Ware. Ware is the ego individual self. And these are just words that Dogen chose in Japanese, and they happen to relate to that. So I said that, as you probably heard just now, and I wanted to kind of bring up something. The internet here wasn't being very cooperative with me, so I tried to send this to myself by email, but I couldn't. I've been working on doing a sort of paraphrase of a Dogen fascicle or essay called Yuibutsu Yobutsu, which is translated by my teacher as what is it translated as? Only Buddhas alone together with Buddhas. it could be Buddha alone together with Buddha. And the Buddha alone together with Buddha is also something similar to you created the universe in which you are not the creator of the universe. And having kind of come up with that this morning, I think maybe I've got a little clue as to how to understand this stuff. But I thought I'd read you the first few paragraphs of what I did, because I'm not really happy with them yet, but they're kind of, they're something I've got somewhere with it. So let's read what Dogen says, or I'll read what I say that Dogen said, my sort of paraphrase, my sort of poop version of, how I've talked about this. There's this kind of marsupial or something, I forget, that eats coffee beans and then poops them out, and then people, maybe things in Indonesia, actually drink coffee made out of this, marsupial poop. That's what I feel like you're getting when you read Dogen or hear Dogen as explained by me. You're getting pooped out Brad Dogen. And, the Indonesians like it, so maybe you'll like it too. Here goes. A person can't know the Buddha Dharma. A person would be that ware self. A person can't know the Buddha Dharma. Since olden times, no person, and the word he uses is bombo, used in Buddhism to indicate an unenlightened person. Since olden times, no person has realized the Buddha Dharma. No one has ever understood the Buddha Dharma through intellectual study or through some kind of inborn wisdom. It is realized only by a Buddha along with a Buddha, or Buddhas alone together with Buddhas. There's no true plurals in Japanese, so the word Buddha could be Buddha or Buddhas. As it says in the Lotus Sutra, Buddhas alone together with Buddha, let's do this in singular like I wrote it. Buddha alone together with Buddha is perfectly able to realize it. Then the next paragraph. When you realize Buddha Dharma, you don't think, hey, this is realization, exactly as I expected. No matter what you might have imagined realization would be like, actual realization is nothing like what you imagined. So it's not very useful to imagine what realization will be like and set your sights on attaining that imaginary thing. When you've attained realization, you don't know why you're now in a state of realization. That's an important point. Having thought about what realization will be like doesn't help you attain realization. Even so, the fact that realization is nothing like you imagine it will be doesn't mean it's bad to have thoughts about what realization will be like. It doesn't even mean that the thoughts you had before realizations were without power. Before realization were without power. That's what I meant to say. The thinking you had before realization was itself an aspect of realization. It's just that you were directing it the wrong way, and you thought that such thinking was useless. Whenever you feel useless, know this. It's just because you're afraid of being small rather than trying to understand what you are at this very moment and just being exactly as you are. Somehow this all relates to those concepts of self I was talking about, but I don't know. We'll have to parse it out another day. And I thought I would give you some quotes from Ramana Maharshi, Advaita teacher who I think says some good things sometimes, early 20th century teacher. And these are things I read in a book as I was flying over here to see all these people in Finland, a book called Talks with Ramana Maharshi. And I'm just going to read it to you because I thought it's interesting, and I don't know if it relates to what I just said, but here you go, giving you content. Because you are accustomed to identify yourself with the body and sight with the eyes, therefore you say, you do not see anything. This is somebody's saying, I don't see anything. He's answering this question. And so he goes on. What is there to be seen? Who is to see? How to see? There is only one consciousness which manifesting as I thought, identifies itself with the body, projects itself through the eyes, and sees the objects around. The individual is limited in the waking state and expects to see something different. The evidence of his senses will be the seal of authority. But he will not admit that the seer, the seen, and the sight are all manifestations of the same consciousness, namely I. Contemplation helps one to overcome the illusion that the self must be visual. In truth, there is nothing visual. And I have a printed version of this too, and that's what I read you is from the Kindle version. The printed version is slightly different. It says, in truth, nothing visual exists. Just think about that. And we'll go on. How do you feel the I now? Do you hold a mirror before you to know your own being? The awareness is the I. Realize it and that is the truth. And here's another couple of quotes I liked from him. The subject comprehends the object also. That one aspect is an all-comprehensive aspect. See yourself first, and then see the objects. What is not in you cannot appear outside. That's a nice one. And here's another one. Somebody asks, where does ignorance come from? And Ramana Maharshi answers, there is no such thing as ignorance. This is something Dogen says later on in that thing I just talked to you about, but I didn't say it. He says, remember, delusion doesn't exist. Remember, realization does not exist. And this is Ramana Maharshi, I think, saying kind of the same thing. There is no such thing as ignorance. It never arises. Everyone is knowledge itself. Only knowledge does not shine easily. The dispelling of ignorance is wisdom which always exists. In other words, the necklace remaining around the neck, though supposed to have been lost, or each of the 10 fools failing to count himself and counting only the others. These are old Indian metaphors. It's like a necklace. It's like the old grandpa looking for his glasses. Like, where's my glasses? Where's my glasses? They're right here, grandpa. That's the metaphor there of the necklace. And the 10 fools is, there's 10 fools, and they're trying to count how many fools there are, but they forget to count themselves. So that's, so they only count 9 fools. That's what those are about. To whom is knowledge or ignorance? So those are some quotes I liked, and I thought you might like them too. And I'll just end with that because that's kind of all I got to say today. I hope you're enjoying this. And remember, you can send me a donation because I'm traveling through Europe, and I am getting donations when I give talks and things, but it costs me a lot to get out to Europe. So I'm hoping to break even. So those donations are really important to me, and you can send them to, or you can go to hardcorezen.info/donate. That is hardcorezen.info/donate. Oops, the other way. And that will tell you where to send donations via Patreon and PayPal. But as I always say, this is offered for free, so you don't have to pay, so don't complain. Just take it for free. Just take it and stop complaining. But I do appreciate those of you who do donate, because that's how I stay afloat. And Ziggy is not here. He's back in LA, so I can't show you Ziggy, but know that he's here in spirit, and we will see you next time. Have a good time all the time. Bye.